Hi, everybody. This is Parent Coach Janet Bonnin welcoming you to another great Wise Parents, Wise Kids conversation. We have these conversations with friends, experts, fellow parents, lots of different people who come in and share their passion for helping our kids develop a deeper love of learning, experiencing more creativity, focusing on how we can better parent our children. Today, we are continuing our summer series. We're going to have a wonderful conversation on the subject of geocaching. First off, I want to welcome Angie Woodrow, my partner in Fine Tune Families, to the program. She's going to help introduce Maureen and Casey, who are our guest experts today. Hi, Angie. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. Hi, Janet. Yes, I'd like to introduce Maureen Havarilla and her daughter, Casey Havarilla. We got a mom-daughter team on here today. Both of them have wonderful individual professional careers, but today they're here sharing their love of geocaching. Maureen and Casey, I'm going to let you just introduce yourselves a little bit and just tell us like one thing or two things about yourself and, of course, what fills your day.
Go for it. All right, my name is Casey, and I am, during the school year, a second grade teacher. And in my time off, I love to read and watch movies, as well as go geocaching.
Yes, perfect.
And I'm Maureen, and I am her mother, and I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner, and I've taken care of kids for a way long time. So my passion's my kids, and I love all things Disney and running. And I love geocaching with Casey and introducing others to the same fun that we're having.
Fantastic, fantastic. So as usual, we've only got a little bit of time to cover a lot of great material. So let's jump in and see what our first questions are and get going with the conversation.
Oh, first of all, though, geocaching, I would like everyone to know that we were planning, Janet and I were talking about the summer series, and I said, oh, we have to talk to Maureen and Casey about geocaching. Now, self-disclosure, Maureen is my husband's first cousin, and we love each other, don't we, Maureen and Casey?
Yes, we do.
It's really a hoot. But then I got thinking, what is this Pokemon Go? And I texted Maureen and said, what's going on with this Pokemon Go? And she goes, I don't know. So I went and researched. So if anybody doesn't know, I kind of geek out on research.
Absolutely.
Geocaching comes from a family tree. So way back in the 1850s, in the United Kingdom, letterboxing. So it was simply someone setting a box, a decorated box hidden out in the forest. And they would leave clues in public spaces and encourage people to go and find the box. And when they found the box, they would sign a little journal in the box. And then it was their job to go set a new box. So that is the heritage and the family tree line for geocaching. Geocaching started in 2000 in Beaverton, Oregon. And then we jumped into the crazy internet technology phase when smartphones and everything started really getting going. So we had Conquest. Conquest founder was also the founder of Foursquare, so you got that in 2004. And BUG stands for Big Urban Games. Who knew? Plunder came out of a Dartmouth College dorm room. This is why we all send our kids to college, right? So they can make lots of money. In 2007, and that was more like being a pirate and going and capturing a free Wi-Fi spot before somebody else, hence Plunder. And now we are here this week, literally in the middle of the Pokemon Go craze. So I thought it very interesting. And most interestingly, those who geocache are true purists. They like to be outside and not solely dependent upon the screen in order to experience the geocaching. So I'm going to turn it over to Casey and Maureen and ask that question. What is geocaching?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I would describe geocaching as a real-world treasure hunt for families, friends, big groups, small groups, individuals. And it's really exciting to find that treasure, per se.
And sometimes the treasure is merely the teeny tiny little battery case magnetized underneath the fire hydrant, and all that's in it is the log that you signed. That's all. But you
The
found
log is like this big, right?
yeah,
It's tiny.
that big, and then you got to roll it back up and put it back in there.
It's the joy of finding it.
Right.
Yes, that's excellent. Okay, so how did you guys get started in geocaching? Because you don't live in Beaverton, Oregon.
No, we do not live in Oregon. We're in Texas, and Casey actually got me started. I had no idea about it.
I was still in college when I got started. I was still in college. It was 2 years ago. Anyway, a couple of my friends and I had said, hey, let's go geocaching. I didn't know what that was, but I just said, yeah, sure, why not? It's a new adventure. And I got hooked and then decided the next time I was home that I was going to introduce my mom to it, and we've kind of fell in love with it.
On the way to the grocery store the other day, we actually stopped, and in the parking lot, there were two that we found on the way to the grocery store.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's true. You can truly do geocaching any time of the day.
Yes,
Yes, you can.
A great website that I found is the geocaching.com, which is what you have to do. You have to go and set up your account. So it does help to have a smartphone or a phone that allows you to do that. And then they also put on their blog the 9 geocaching tools or what else you should have handy if you're just going to geocache in your grocery store or out in the park. Right?
Or the parking lot, right?
Yeah.
parking lot. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So how would y'all suggest that a family get started with geocaching?
You can download the Geocache app. There's several apps actually out there that you can download, and you just have to find which one's going to work best for you in your area.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that start off are free. The one that I have on my phone is a free app, and I used it in Kentucky to introduce another cousin to geocaching, and then Casey, I believe, has a different app than I do.
And I got the free version of my app, and then decided it was worth paying out whatever the amount was I paid for it.
I think it's like $1.99 or something.
Yeah, it wasn't that
it
much.
wasn't, yeah.
But just download any app that you can find and just start going at it.
And sometimes just if you have someone that has shared it with you and you share it with someone else, I know that one of my colleagues and when I work, I was telling her, because she had a 10-year-old daughter at the time, and I was telling her what Casey and I had done. She said, I don't understand. What do we do? I said, okay. So I found out there was a catch down in the parking lot away from our office. Well, at the time, I didn't have it on my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm texting Casey, who has the site up on her phone, and she's texting me back from a different city where we're going to go. So my girlfriend and I we're wandering around this parking lot so she could find out how to find a geocache. We found it, and she was so excited. I can't wait to tell my daughter. I can't wait to tell my daughter. They have proceeded to find many geocaches.
And I can see how, especially kids, tweens, on either side of tweens also, could really, really enjoy this, because it is kind of like a treasure hunt, and it's out of doors and it's unpredictable, and you find something. There's usually something in addition to the scroll, right? When you find a geocache?
Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on the size of the container, I mean, you can have containers as big as
Like a Tupperware
big,
container.
huge, like metal box, or what they call micro catches, which are about this big that just have the log. The bigger ones sometimes have toys, stickers, little coins. They even have trackable items that you can record through the catch and take the trackable with you. And then when you find another catch, you put it in that one so that somebody else can have it. So it just depends on what you find. That's what makes it so fun, because you never know what you're going to come upon when you find it.
We have a family that kind of taught us, or didn't teach us, but they were really involved in this. And they actually carry tokens and things with them so they can leave something and take something out.
That my sister-in-law up in Oregon told us the same thing, that that's what they love to do. They love especially to go look out in nature for it, because they love being out of doors.
Right.
They're on the adventure out in nature, and oh, how much fun is it additionally to do some geocaching while you're out there. And they'd bring those little tokens, like you said.
Yes.
They'd open it up and get something cool out and put something else in, and yeah.
And the thing is that there is official ones too for state parks and national parks. They have official catches.
Is that what the badge is here? I see on the notes here, Casey.
Yes.
The badges I have on mine, because I've collected in 3 different states. I've collected in Texas, Pennsylvania, New York. I get a badge for collecting in a different state. So when I found my first catch in New York, I got a little alert that said, "You've earned the New York badge." Those are the ones I've collected so far. I don't know if there are any other badges. I would go search for them to find them.
The Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, and Campfire Girls, and Boys Club and Girls Club of America, they all have geocaching badges and merit badges.
Well, and we were camping a couple weekends ago, and we followed a Boy Scout catch. They had one, and every one of them had one of their.
It was one of the traits of Boy Scouts. It was like honesty and fairness and friendship and things like that.
So since I was paying attention to all this, and we're getting ready to take one of our, JP's going to be 10 this summer.
Whoa.
So yeah, he's off and we're going to Michigan. And I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. But he's going to leave the first geocache. So the next 4 grandchildren will have a geocache.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
their own personal geocache to find.
That's awesome.
Sounds like fun. So what's our next question?
Our next question is best tips. What are some of the good tips? I love Casey's tip.
Yes. There's been times where we've actually gone back to the same spot several times because we just really want to find that one catch. But maybe it's just a bad day. Maybe we're not looking in the right spot. Maybe we are just hot and tired. But we have gone back multiple times to try to find a specific catch, and then it makes it even better when you find it.
Right. Then you get so excited.
Right.
Like, okay. It's that perseverance. It really, it's great for kids to show you don't give up. You just keep looking. It's going to be there. There's also a way to check to see, has somebody found it recently, so you know it's still there.
Right.
That's good to know. That's good. And I just think allowing the kids, you go out with them and you participate in the event, but they can drive it by learning to read the map and figure it out and, understanding the things. There's so many things, Casey, as a school teacher, it's just one of those whole learning process. You can apply math, reading, geography, social studies. It's just, I call it whole body learning.
It is.
And the body.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, Maureen, you were also saying or mentioning there too, when you're traveling, it's fun to look for
it is. We've gone, when we went to New York to visit my son, we went through Central Park, and there were several in Central Park, and we found 2 of them in Central Park. So whenever we go someplace, Pennsylvania, I think
the first thing we ask is, are there any catches?
Right. I mean, no matter where you go, there's going to be catches.
Yeah. So Maureen, you need to add a new T-shirt. I run and cash.
There you go.
So, ladies, what is a good age to start with the geocaching?
In my opinion, like I said in my questions, if they are able to walk and talk independently and can comprehend and understand what's going on and what you're doing, I think they will have fun with it, because if you describe it to them as if it's a treasure hunt and they're going to go search for treasure, I mean, any kid's gonna be fun. So that's what I think.
The one colleague I introduced had 3 young boys when they first started it, and their oldest one now is 9. And when they started, he was about 6, and the little ones were 4 and 2. Well, the 2-year-old was too young. The 4-year-old thought that was the most fun that he could have. He was outside looking under a bunch of rocks and looking in trees and trying to find things. And
they get to get down and dirty.
Right. He got down and dirty. He thought it was awesome. And they still do. They still take the boys out. And now the younger one is starting to get interested in it.
And it can become one of your family traditions to go out geocaching. It's not a one-time thing.
as they get older, they can start taking turns reading the hints and reading the suggestions, so that it's not just the parents. The kids are part of this too.
And I think it'd be fun as they get older too to invite friends to come along and expose other families to it. And it kind of has that ripple effect. That's
And we did it with a family. We did
we've
join
done it with
forces.
family.
Yeah, we've done it with another family and had a blast.
That's great.
And I think it's intergenerational, because everybody can go out for a walk, regardless of whether you're 6 or 60. So,
Right.
And there's so much, just the fact that this activity of going and finding that secret treasure and making a log and marking it harkens back to 1854. Come on now.
With the letter, really, yes.
Nothing is new. Everything is, reinvented or re-energized, or as in Pokemon Go, rebranded.
So what is your favorite find so far, Casey and Maureen?
My ultimate favorite find is the one in Central Park. That one was fun because there are so many people in New York and so many people walking around Central Park that you have to be careful. What they call are muggles. You have to be careful with those people, because if they don't know what geocaching is, they're wondering what you're finding, and it's possible that geocache could then go missing because they don't understand what that is. But I think that was the most fun, because we had to be really careful with getting it, and then we had to be really careful with putting it back with all these people walking around.
Intrigue and mystery.
Yeah, it is.
And people do kind of watch you. I mean, we've seen, if you're out someplace, they're kind of looking, so we just kind of stand back for a minute.
We just gonna watch them.
Looking at the birds.
I think
Nothing going on here. Nothing going on.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite one is the one we haven't found yet. We have Inks Lake is a state park down here, and we love to camp there. And we have looked for this one geocache
so many times.
And at one point, it's up in a rock, a higher place. So we have taken turns climbing up and looking, and then the other one takes turns. The other one goes back up. And then we take turn. We probably spent one time 45 minutes still have not found that geocache. We will find that geocache.
It's theirs, and it's in the log.
That's right.
Okay, so you've seen it, you've gone and checked the app. Hey, on the app, do they tell you this one's a hard one, this one's an easy one?
Yes.
There are different levels.
Yes.
And they also tell you kind of what the terrain is like. And so it'll tell you, there's not very many trees, rocks, you can just kind of walk up and get it. Or it'll say you might have to climb a little bit, you might have to go through some rough grass or tall grass. It just depends on what the catch is and where it is.
Well, and what appeals there is for anybody who's got any kind of physical limitation, you can kind of look and pick the ones that you feel are most accessible for you.
Right. Yeah.
And then the other thing too is if your children are really, really young, it seems you could go for the easier to find ones to begin with to kind of head off frustration, which can happen when you're younger.
Right. So you want to make sure that you're not frustrated enough that they don't want to do it anymore.
Exactly.
Those easy ones, because some of the ones we must have went around. One of the first ones Casey took me on was a fire hydrant that had a micro one magnet underneath the lid. We must have gone around that fire hydrant.
We walked in circles, and I finally decided to look up, and I grabbed something that just didn't look right, and it was red as well as the fire hydrant, but it didn't look right. So I looked up and I pulled. And I went, this is it.
I mean, just in our old neighborhood, we must have found
several,
at least six or seven, just in our neighborhood.
So have you guys have you done any planting yourself?
We have not. Now, friends of ours did, and we have yet to find the one they planted. We can't find it.
Are you sure they're still your friends?
Well, we're still talking.
So what are some resources? I see some here on the slides, but tell us about some of the resources that we could go to learn more about how to do geocaching.
Well, the first one is a 75-second watch. This is geocaching. It's a really good video. It's clean, it's neat, it's easy. It's got text so you can read it and listen to it at the same time. And it's good for the kids to watch that before you go out so that you actually know what to expect. And then this is one of the sites that I like you, Janet. You put out a lot of information on your site for families. You haven't put anything out for geocaching, so I went to Family Sponge here because they have been geocaching with their kids. And then There's Wikipedia, so if you want to know anything and everything about geocaching, there it is. And this is the article that was in Bluebirds just the other day. Before Pokemon, there was geocaching, and there will be geocaching after Pokemon.
And we're going to share that on social media too.
Yeah. That'll be perfect. And then, of course, Fine Tune Family. Oh, sorry, Fine Tune Families is a resource for all parents. Janet likes to say that Fine Tune Families is a place for you to go to help your families flourish and help everyone just parent smarter.
And so my website's finetunefamilies.com, and I'm on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. If you visit the website, you can connect to me through the other social media stuff. Love to have y'all visit, and be sure and check out on the website, there are other Wise Parents, Wise Kids interviews that complement this. And I just want to thank Casey and Maureen for coming on the show today and sharing your enthusiasm and excitement for geocaching.
You're welcome. We enjoyed it. It was fun.
Thank
Oh,
you.
it's great seeing you guys. Thanks.
You too. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.